Well, good morning, everybody. If you're back east, I should say good afternoon. Thank you for attending the first NATJA webinar. I'm Brian Hemsworth. I am a marketing and brand consultant here in Los Angeles. I'm also a member of the adjunct faculty at Pepperdine University in Malibu, where I teach advertising and marketing. Blog content is parallel to the website content. What we want you to do with the blog is we want you to think news, think tease, think shorter term. A mistake that we found that a lot of people do is they use a blog posting to publish a 2,500 word article. 2,500 words is about 2,000 words too many for most blogs. We have found that, and studies seem to be echoing this, that short listings on blogs in the 100 to 200 word length, that's really the sweet spot for blog postings. For what we would call a long length, 350 to 450, maybe about 500. Most people, when they're reading blogs, don't want to read much more than that. And a lot of you say, well, I don't write articles that are 500 words. That's okay. We don't want you to publish the article. We want you to publish a blog posting about something in the article that bounces them to the full article. So don't think of the blog as where you put the full article. Think of it as a news tease or a way of getting into it. I've recommended to a few writers that I've worked with is for every article you write 5 to 10 teases about the article. You might say that you had an interesting trip to get to this location. You might talk about the destination itself. You might talk about certain events that happened while you were there. Just come at it from several different angles. Easy way to do it, every other week, post another angle. Do that for 2 or 3 months. And build up the viewership on your own site. Build up the Google searchability because every one of those blog postings will be found. Let me give you a real world example of how important these blog postings can be. I operate 3 different blogs, one of which I just launched this year, which is called Professor Brian. And it's just a blog that I wrote for my students at Pepperdine and some of my guest speakers that come in. I happen to write about a publication, a business publication that we're working on. I published it at about 4 o'clock one afternoon. I was driving to teach a class that night at Pepperdine. I left my office. I went to a coffee shop to get a coffee to drink on the way so I wouldn't fall asleep during class. While I was waiting to get the coffee, I took out my iPad and I searched for the magazine that we're working on. And what came up, my blog posting that I had written 14 minutes earlier was already on Google. So the key takeaway from this is blog postings are being found by Google in virtually real time. They are so effective in driving eyes and searchability. You can't not do this. That's why I said early on, we've passed the tipping point. It's not optional anymore. If you want to be effective, you need to have that. So don't think of the blog as being that you have to be this gigantic thought leader in your field. What we actually like to say is all you need to be is a thought Sherpa. You just need to kind of guide people in the direction. A great thing to do if you're looking for content, bounce them somewhere else. That's okay. It's actually okay to bounce them to very popular links. I found that on my marketing blog, I did a short listing once on how Apple was marketing the iPad. I had a 100-fold increase in the viewership of my blog because it happened to have a link to Apple and I got picked up by a lot of search engines. So again, Apple was a keyword that I learned if I put that in a marketing article, I get more people seeing it. The same thing that you find on travel articles or if you're a destination, you find those important keywords. One of the tricks that we actually say on the keywords is whether it's you individually or you as a company, write down 20 keywords and keep those on a list near your computer that are important to what your sweet spot or your expertise is or your destination. Once you've got those 20, whittle it down to 10. Once you've whittled it down to 10, I want you to whittle it down to 5. And those 5 are kind of the magic words you want to work into every single article and posting you do so that you can really be searched for those key terms.